I'm Mark Mansour, and this is America's Fractured Politics. This is a podcast for political junkies, but more important, for people who are concerned and want to engage about the critical issues confronting our democracy. Today, we are going to explore a company known as Palantir and its growing influence over the United States government. When the U.S. Army commissions tech executives as lieutenant colonels, is this a leap forward in innovation, or a dangerous merging of corporate power and military authority that threatens our democracy? Today we're going deep on Peter Thiel, Palantir, and the newly minted Detachment 201, a development that signals a seismic shift in how national security is being shaped and why it should alarm every American concerned about liberty. On June 13th, the U.S. Army launched Detachment 201, an executive innovation corps that swore in 4 Silicon Valley executives as lieutenant colonels in the Army Reserve. Among them is Shyam Sankar, Palantir's chief technology officer. Alongside him are tech leaders from Meta and OpenAI. The Army frames this as a bold move to bring cutting-edge innovation into defense, but scratch beneath the surface and you find a troubling precedent. Corporate executives, many with no military experience, now wield military rank and influence over defense policy. This is not just a personnel shift, it's a fundamental transformation of the military-industrial complex, with Peter Thiel's Palantir at the epicenter. Peter Thiel is no ordinary billionaire. He is the ideological architect of a vision that increasingly looks like an authoritarian technocracy. Back in 2009, Thiel openly declared, "I no longer believe that freedom and democracy are compatible," criticizing the expansion of suffrage and welfare as creating tough constituencies for libertarians. His solution? Monopolies, not competition. As he famously wrote in his 2014 book, 0 to 1, competition is for losers. This worldview has shaped Palantir's trajectory since its founding in 2003, with seed funding from the CIA's venture capital arm, In-Q-Tel. Palantir's original mission was cloaked in counterterrorism rhetoric, but its technology quickly became a tool for mass surveillance. Thiel's political contributions have matched his corporate ambitions. He gave $1.5 million to Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign, and even more in 2024. He has backed candidates such as Vice President J.D. Vance. Thiel's vision goes beyond politics. He has advocated for what's called seasteading, creating autonomous ocean cities to escape democratic governments, and space colonization, all attempts to evade democratic accountability. Palantir is the practical arm of this vision, embedding itself deeply into government operations. By 2025, Palantir's federal contracts surged to over $100 million, with its Foundry software integrated into the Pentagon, Department of Homeland Security, IRS, and the Social Security Administration. Palantir's technology doesn't just analyze data, it constructs a digital surveillance state. Under a March 2025 executive order, Palantir became the architect of a federal data sharing network, integrating IRS tax records, Social Security information, and immigration enforcement data into a centralized, weaponized platform. This is not hypothetical. ICE's $30 million contract uses Palantir to track migrants, but the same tools can and have been used to monitor activists, journalists, and political dissidents. Predictive policing algorithms deployed in cities like New Orleans target individuals based on social networks rather than on actual criminal behavior. Palantir's Gotham platform enables real-time biometric analysis, enabling mass profiling under the guise of public safety. Critics warn this system replaces due process with data pipelines, turning Thiel's data-driven warfare into a domestic tool of social control. Leo Laporte, host of This Week in Tech, recently warned that Palantir's ability to cross-reference vast amounts of data makes it particularly powerful and potentially dangerous. The company made its reputation in Afghanistan and the Middle East by analyzing multiple data streams to predict IED locations and save lives. That same technology can now be turned on American citizens. And that's not just speculation. The New York Times reported in March, President Trump enacted an executive directive urging the federal government to enhance data sharing among its various departments, leading to concerns about the potential creation of a comprehensive registry of personal information on American citizens, which could grant him expensive surveillance capabilities. The Army's swearing in of Sankar, along with executives from Meta and OpenAI, as lieutenant colonels in Detachment 201, is not about service. It is about institutionalizing corporate influence within the military. These executives hold command rank without combat experience or traditional military vetting. They continue to draw private sector salaries while shaping defense policy, creating irreconcilable conflicts of interest. Palantir itself sued the Army in 2016 for allegedly favoring competitors, yet now its CTO helped shape Army technology procurement. Detachment 201 operates under the Army Transformation Initiative, which aims to make the military leaner, smarter, and more lethal. In practice, this means tech monopolies like Palantir now define what lethality means. Sankar advises on battlefield AI, while his company profits from Pentagon contracts, a revolving door of influence and profit. This militarization of Silicon Valley is no accident. It's a carefully engineered strategy. The Pentagon's Defense Innovation Union, DIU, established in 2015 to court tech startups, now funnels billions in military funding to companies like Palantir. DIU's expansion mirrors Thiel's vision of augmenting human decision-making by replacing ethics with algorithms. Palantir CEO Alex Karp has said bluntly, "We want employees who want to be on the side of the West. You can't be neutral." Dissent within the tech community is crushed. Google fired 50 employees protesting Project Nimbus, which supplies AI technology to the Israeli military. As Israeli military tech fusion accelerates, Detachment 201 stands at its apex, a Praetorian Guard loyal to profit, not the Constitution. The implications for democracy are chilling. When private tech executives are granted military authority, civilian oversight erodes and the potential for abuse skyrockets. Palantir's algorithms analyze everything from cyber threats to kinetic attacks, but their inner workings are trade secrets. Who checks for bias or mission creep when these executives advise on battlefield AI and domestic surveillance systems? The Trump administration accelerated this process. Since January 2025, Palantir's federal contracts surged 150%, and its stock price jumped 140%. The goal is a centralized federal data platform running on Palantir's Foundry software. In effect, Thiel's company owns the operating system of the U.S. government. And with Detachment 201, its executives now command the very system they profit from. Palantir's reach is global. NATO recently inked a deal with Palantir to deploy its Maven Smart System AI across alliance operations, allowing commanders to act decisively by fusing real-time battlefield data, satellite imagery, and machine learning. As Cyber News reported, Palantir's chairman is Peter Thiel, the billionaire ideologue who bankrolled Donald Trump's campaigns and sits at the nexus of Silicon Valley surveillance and right-wing politics. Palantir has already scored billions in U.S. military contracts and is widely seen as one of the Pentagon's favorite digital war contractors. The company's AI is now used to automate everything from targeting to logistics, letting a handful of soldiers do the data work that once took entire battalions. Palantir's technology is also being exported to conflict zones. The company recently announced a strategic partnership with Israel's Ministry of Defense to provide AI battlefield technology. Josh Harris, Palantir's executive vice president, told Bloomberg, both parties have mutually agreed to harness Palantir's advanced technology in support of war-related missions. CEO Alex Karp added, "Our products are in great demand in Israel since its war with Hamas began on October 7. This global expansion raises serious questions about the export of surveillance and military technologies without adequate oversight or ethical constraints." The company's relationship with the U.S. government has not been without controversy. Palantir's $229 million contract with the Department of Defense to provide AI and machine learning for special forces and all branches of the armed services is an extension of Project Maven, the program that prompted mass protests at Google and Microsoft. As CNET reported, Google later abandoned its work on the project after employees objected to their labor being used for war. But Palantir eagerly took the lead. The company's willingness to fill this void, even as rivals balked, underscored its aggressive pursuit of military integration. Palantir's defenders claim their technology is essential for national security. The Pentagon has said bringing AI to defense technology is proving to be an excellent business model and predicts even greater demand for Palantir's products in the years ahead. But critics warn this is a Faustian bargain. As Leo Laporte put it, this isn't just about efficiency, but on unprecedented surveillance capabilities. The implications for American democracy are profound. As the New York Times observed, the widespread adoption of Foundry, which effectively organizes and analyzes data, could enable Mr. Trump to seamlessly integrate information from various agencies, according to government sources. This kind of data fusion, once unthinkable, is now a reality, one that could be weaponized for political ends. Historically, the rise of Detachment 201 echoes President Eisenhower's 1961 warning about the military-industrial complex, a caution about the dangers of unaccountable defense contractors wielding undue influence over national policy. Today, that warning is more urgent than ever. Whistleblowers from within Palantir have anonymously revealed how data misuse risks are rampant, with insufficient safeguards to prevent profiling or targeting of innocent civilians. Legislative efforts to regulate military tech integration exist, but face stiff opposition from potentially powerful lobbyists and entrenched interests. Let's take a step back and examine the broader context. Since its founding, Palantir has been dogged by controversy. The company settled a federal discrimination lawsuit in 2017 and has repeatedly been accused of anti-competitive practices. Its technology has been implicated in controversial police surveillance programs, including predictive policing algorithms that critics say reinforce racial bias. And while Palantir's leadership touts its commitment to Western values, the company's relentless pursuit of government contracts has raised questions about its true loyalties. As one former Palantir engineer said, inside Palantir, the culture is about winning at all costs. If that means pushing the boundaries of what's legal or ethical, so be it. Palantir's expansion into the heart of government is not just a business success story, it's a warning sign. The company's Foundry platform is now embedded in the IRS, Social Security Administration, Department of Homeland Security, and the Pentagon. This means Palantir has access to some of the most sensitive personal data in the country. As one government official told the New York Times, if you wanted to build a surveillance state, you'd start by doing exactly what Palantir is doing now. The company's defenders argue that these capabilities are unnecessary to keep America safe in an era of rising geopolitical threats. But as history has shown, the line between security and authoritarianism is thin and easily crossed. The integration of Palantir's technology across federal agencies, combined with the elevation of his executives to military command, represents a direct threat to America's security. Let's not forget the international dimension. Palantir's partnership with NATO and the Israeli Ministry of Defense is just the tip of the iceberg. The company's AI-powered battlefield technology is being exported to conflict zones around the world, raising concerns about the proliferation of surveillance and autonomous weapon systems. As one European defense analyst put it, Palantir is becoming the Microsoft of the military world, ubiquitous, indispensable, and largely unaccountable. What does all this mean for the future of American democracy? The answer is sobering. As Palantir's influence grows, the boundaries between corporate and government power blur. The elevation of tech executives to military command is just the latest step in a process that threatens to erode the very foundations of civilian oversight and democratic accountability. Congress must act. Lawmakers should subpoena Detachment 201's contracts, expose conflicts of interest in these tech-military partnerships, legislate bans on dual-hatted corporate military roles, and investigate Palantir's federal dominance, particularly its Foundry integration system across agencies. Without such action, Detachment 201 normalizes corporate authoritarianism, unaccountable, algorithmic, and antithetical to democratic values. The fusion of Silicon Valley's tech giants with the military threatens to remake America's national security landscape in ways that undermine civil liberties and democratic accountability. This is not a dystopian fantasy. It is our current reality. The quiet militarization of corporate executives demands our attention and resistance before it becomes irreversible. This is an innovation. It's the quiet coup of the digital age. For America's Fractured Politics, I'm Mark Mansour. Stay vigilant. If you enjoy these podcasts, please subscribe and share.